This weekend is the 1-year anniversary of Hurricane Helene, and this video I posted that ended up with 20 million views. It's taken me this long to have the mental and emotional space to follow up with TikTok about the full story and answer some questions that I saw in the comments. To start off, we knew about the storm, but are located in Burnsville, North Carolina, 300 miles from the coast. Category 5 hurricanes have passed over us before, but by the time they get to us, they are usually about the same strength as a tropical storm. We are used to small-scale flash flooding, but have never seen anything like this. We did not get an evacuation notice, and we kept an eye on the weather, and we are confident that the Cane River was going to swell during the storm and then go down like we've seen before. This wasn't concerning to us since we live 80 feet from the river and 30 feet above it. The flood planning told us that the Cane River, a normally 3-foot deep river, flooding to our doorstep was next to impossible. This was a 1,000-year flood, the term meaning that, statistically speaking, a flood of this magnitude or greater has a 1 in 1,000 chance of occurring in any given year. At around 6 a.m. on September 27, 2024, we woke up to the sound of water banging on the underside of the bridge outside of our house. This meant that the water had already risen about 10 feet. We discussed evacuating because I was concerned about staying, but my boyfriend advised not to as he was even more concerned about flash flooding on the road and how fast the water was already rising. The water started rising about a foot every 10 minutes, so we were very glad that we stayed put. We live about a 20-minute drive away from any kind of reliable cell service, and we rely on our Wi-Fi to communicate with the outside world. Before we lost power, we actually received a shelter-in-place notice. There is a spot on our couch that you can get a bar of service if you hold your phone just right. That's what my boyfriend was doing in this video, not scrolling nonchalantly. Although at this point, we had no idea that the closest 2 cell towers had also gone out. By 11 a.m., the water rose to the bottom of our house and flooded our basement, and we watched as our neighbors' houses floated by. We had go bags packed to start walking up the hill behind our house so we didn't get swept away, but luckily that wasn't the case. The water started going down at around 11:30 a.m. When the water went down, our driveway was about a 13-foot cliff, and all of the roads around us were destroyed, so we ended up being stuck on our property for 5 days. We had plenty of canned food and dry food, but we ran out of water and had to find a nearby spring behind a neighbor's house about 2 miles away to get more. On day 5, the National Guard came, shortly followed by our very concerned family who hadn't heard from us in 5 days. It took them a while to figure out how to get to us as all of the roads around us were destroyed. The aftermath was intense as our story went viral, and it became a full-time job advocating for Western North Carolina and the people affected. We weren't able to go back to our house for over 2 months until the locals started rebuilding the roads, and so we had to stay with family. We had a lot of questions come in about the financial side of things. Insurance did not cover any of our damages as flood insurance is a separate policy, and the bank that we got our home loan from did not think we needed it based on the current floodplains. We got about $4,000 from FEMA and did have a fundraiser for all of our immediate damages and personal costs, including damages to our house, replacing a car, being unemployed for 4 months, moving, and replacing personal items, even though our long-term costs have ended up almost doubling what we had accounted for. A year later, this is what the house and property look like now. We are 1 HVAC visit away from getting it livable again. We are extremely lucky to be alive, and this experience proved to us that community is everything. If you want to support continued efforts to rebuild Western North Carolina, please donate to Beloved Asheville. They have fed and housed so many people after the storm and continue to rebuild this special place that we call home.